Howdy, this is Clint Berry, Commercial Marketing Director with the Red Angus Association of America, and I'm joined here today with Barry and Cal Horsley of Arcadia Land and Cattle. Barry, can you tell us a little bit about the cow herd that y'all are running here?
Well, we are a relatively young outfit. We're entering our 4th year of production here, and we built the cow herd by going out and acquiring females from several states: Colorado, Nebraska, Kansas, Texas, in putting the cow herd together. We've been very pleased with the way the cattle have adapted to the heat and humidity coming out of some elevation, some coming out of short grass country. Primarily, we wanted to build our herd with a sound, functional female that they have built-in calving ease. We like the heat tolerance of the cattle. We also like the fact that they require a little less feed than some of the black cattle we run on the other ranches as well as this ranch. We pay a lot of attention to calving ease, not birth weight. We use the calving ease direct EPD a lot. We also pay a lot of attention to the maintenance energy EPD. We feel like that's very important, that we build that genetic into our replacement females.
Now, Barry, as you can tell, we're located here in southeast Oklahoma today, and it's a hot, humid day already. So when you talk about that heat tolerance, can you tell me, are you seeing production-wise a greater performance in your red-hided cattle?
Well, those traits that we can measure, we do. We see a higher percentage of our cattle breed back, and I think that's because, number one, the red bulls are working harder. They stay out later and they're out earlier. When the heat and humidity really do set in midday, our black cattle shade up. But we're seeing a lot of our red cattle continue to work and cycle. The fertility is important, but we also see that even though the cattle are carrying better condition because of the maintenance requirements being lower, they still get out and hustle, get to forage, and convert well.
Barry, can you talk a little bit about the selection pressures you put on when you're looking for bulls to put on this cow herd?
Yes, we set parameters on the bulls that we're trying to get purchased. We pay a lot of attention to calving ease direct. We like to have a EPD of 8 or higher on calving ease direct. Maintenance energy requirements on these bulls, we certainly kind of set the ceiling at 3. We like to be below 3 if it's at all possible. We don't really tend to go real negative. When you go looking for those outliers of -10 or -12, usually you start to present yourself with other problems. So a +3 down to about a -5 is where we try to pick our maintenance energy EPD. And longevity is a big plus because of the amount of money it takes to get a female into production, and therefore the stayability EPD is important to us. We don't try to get to any extremes on carcass, but we like to stay positive on our carcass EPDs.
When you talked about calving ease, Barry, and at Red Angus we really have 2 traits beyond birth weight that we measure for calving ease, both calving ease direct, which is the probability of a bull's calves being born unassisted, and calving ease maternal, which is the probability of a bull's daughters calving unassisted at 2 years of age. You also talked a little bit about stayability. That's the probability of a bull's daughters staying in production through age 6 in their production life cycle. And how can you talk a little bit about the importance of that trait in measuring the ability for a bull's daughters to work in your cow herd?
Yes, of course, profit is the ultimate goal. And keeping that female in production because of the costs that are associated with putting her into production to start with are a fact that we're very conscientious of. The fact that she, first of all, she breeds as a virgin heifer and then comes back and rebreeds year after year. Certainly one of the traits that we pay a lot of attention to. In addition to that, she's still got to be able to travel the pasture, so she's got to have a good set of feet and legs under. And in order to raise those calves that are going to be in the upper 50 percentile of weaning weight, she's got to have a good sound udder. So that EPD is one we pay a lot of attention to.
Thanks for joining us on the Rancher's Guide for Profit, and tune in for upcoming podcasts for tips to add profit to your program utilizing Red Angus. You can find a complete listing of all the podcast series at redangus.org.